My child, do not leave this moment believing that your life is still meant to remain exactly as it has been. You have been carrying questions that no one else can answer for you. You have wanted peace. You have wanted clarity. You have wanted strength when you felt weak. You have wanted direction when every path felt uncertain. You have wanted healing from what still hurts. You have wanted rest from the pressure of proving yourself. You have wanted provision for what you cannot control. You have wanted wisdom for the decision you keep delaying. You have wanted freedom from fear, freedom from shame, freedom from the old pattern that keeps returning you to the same place. And you have wondered whether any of those desires matter. They do. Stay with this message, because before this hour ends, you will not be left only with another passing feeling. You will see the pattern that has been draining your peace. You will understand why you have been waiting for permission to become the person you know you are meant to become. You will hear what Scripture says about fear, calling, courage, and the next step in front of you. And you will be given a prayer to carry with you after this video ends. This is not about becoming above anyone else. This is not about pretending every problem will disappear in one night. This is about recognizing that you have been called to stop abandoning yourself. You have been called to stop treating your needs as unimportant. You have been called to stop letting fear make every decision. You have been called to become faithful with the life that is already in your hands. There are things you have prayed for in silence: a restored heart, a clearer mind, a peaceful home, a stronger body, a better future, a relationship that does not require you to disappear, a door that opens at the right time, the courage to walk away from what keeps breaking you, the wisdom to recognize what is truly yours to carry. Do not dismiss those desires. Bring them into the light. But first, you must understand this. The life you want cannot begin while you remain loyal to the patterns that keep you small. You have been waiting for a sign. You have been waiting for certainty. You have been waiting for someone else to tell you that you are allowed to change. But this message is here because the next part of your life will not begin with everyone else agreeing with you. It will begin when you become honest. Honest about what is hurting. Honest about what you need. Honest about the door you have been afraid to approach. By the end of this hour, I want you to be able to name that door. I want you to know what your next faithful step is. And I want you to stop believing that you are forgotten simply because you have not yet seen the full answer. You are still here. Your life still matters. And this is where you begin to stop walking away from it. You have thought that a calling must be dramatic. You have imagined a calling as one great moment when every question disappears, every doubt becomes silence, and everyone around you finally understands who you are. But much of your calling begins in ordinary places. It begins when you decide not to speak against yourself anymore. It begins when you choose a truthful boundary. It begins when you stop making room for the habits that are draining your spirit. It begins when you ask for help instead of carrying everything alone. It begins when you make one choice that looks small to the world, but feels honest in your heart. You have been waiting for a loud sign because quiet faithfulness has seemed too simple, but I have seen the quiet choices that no one applauds. I have seen you make it through a day when getting out of bed felt difficult. I have seen you answer with kindness when you wanted to close yourself off. I have seen you keep a promise to yourself after years of believing your needs did not matter. Those moments matter. They are not proof that you have failed to become extraordinary. They are proof that you are becoming whole. My child, you have not been called to become a version of yourself that people can admire from a distance. You have been called to live truthfully enough that you can recognize yourself again. There are roles you have played for too long. You have been the strong one. You have been the easy one. You have been the one who understands everyone else. You have been the one who makes the room feel safe, while no one asks whether you feel safe. You have been the one who says yes, because you are afraid that no will make people leave. But I did not call you to lose yourself in every room you enter. I called you to bring truth with you. I called you to bring peace with you. I called you to bring compassion with you, including compassion for yourself. You may think that this sounds too small to be purpose, but purpose is not always a large platform. Purpose is not always a visible achievement. Purpose can be a life that becomes more honest, more faithful, more loving, and more free. You can become a person who listens before reacting. You can become a person who tells the truth without cruelty. You can become a person who rests before exhaustion becomes anger. You can become a person who receives care rather than treating care as something you must earn. You can become a person who notices when an old wound is making a new decision. That is sacred work. You have been calling yourself lost because you do not yet see the entire path, but you do not have to see every mile in order to take the next faithful step. You only have to stop calling yourself invisible because the path is not yet fully lit. I am with you in the first step. I am with you in the uncertain step. I am with you in the step where you admit that something needs to change. There is a reason you are still longing for a different kind of life. There is a reason you still want peace. There is a reason you still want to be known without having to perform. That longing is not proof that you are ungrateful. It may be the part of you that remembers you were made for more than fear, more than exhaustion, and more than the old story you have been repeating. Do not call yourself chosen in a way that makes you separate from others. Let this word mean something gentler and truer. You are not forgotten, you are not disposable, and your next honest step matters. I have called you because you are still here. My child, you have been waiting for permission. You have been waiting for someone to tell you that your needs are real. You have been waiting for someone to approve the boundary you know you need. You have been waiting for someone to make your next step feel safe enough that you will not have to risk being misunderstood. You have been waiting for people who are comfortable with the old version of you to celebrate the new one. But you may wait a long time for approval that was never theirs to give. Stay with me because I want you to understand this without shame. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to grow beyond the role you were assigned. You are allowed to stop doing what is slowly breaking you. You are allowed to become more honest about what you need. You are allowed to care about your peace. You are allowed to say, "This is no longer healthy for me." You are allowed to begin again. This does not mean you must become reckless. It does not mean every discomfort is a sign to leave. It does not mean every hard thing is wrong. It means you are allowed to pay attention to truth. You have spent too much time treating your own discernment as a problem. Maybe someone taught you that your needs were selfish. Maybe someone convinced you that you were overreacting whenever you tried to speak. Maybe you were praised only when you were useful, quiet, agreeable, and easy to manage. So you learned to doubt yourself. You learned to ask everyone else what was true before you asked your own heart. You learned to call self-abandonment kindness. You learned to call exhaustion faithfulness. You learned to call silence peace. But I am inviting you to a different way. You do not need permission to breathe. You do not need permission to rest. You do not need permission to recognize harm. You do not need permission to refuse what you know is not yours to carry. You can still be kind. You can still be patient. You can still forgive. But you do not have to become absent from your own life in order to do those things. There is a difference between humility and erasing yourself. Humility knows that you are not the center of everything. Erasing yourself believes that you do not matter at all. Humility receives correction. Erasing yourself accepts every accusation as proof that you are wrong. Humility serves freely. Erasing yourself serves out of fear that you will be rejected if you stop. My child, I am not calling you to be hard. I am calling you to be whole. A whole heart can love without being destroyed. A whole heart can say no without turning cold. A whole heart can receive help without assuming it is a burden. A whole heart can listen to another person without surrendering every truth it knows. You have thought that your future would begin when someone finally saw your potential. But your future begins when you start treating the life I gave you as something worthy of care. The next step may not look impressive. It may be a conversation you have delayed. It may be an appointment you need to make. It may be a decision to stop answering a message when you know the conversation only leaves you anxious. It may be a decision to ask someone safe for advice. It may be a decision to rest before your mind turns every problem into an emergency. Do not wait until you feel completely ready. Readiness does not always come before action. Sometimes readiness grows as you take the next faithful step. You have been afraid of disappointing people. I know. You have carried other people's expectations as though they were commands written over your life. But not every expectation is yours to keep. Not every request deserves your yes. Not every person who is upset by your boundary has been harmed by it. Sometimes they are only uncomfortable because you have stopped making your peace available for their convenience. You do not need to punish them. You do not need to argue with them. You do not need to explain every detail. You can be clear. You can be gentle. You can be firm. You can let your life become more truthful. There is a story of Esther that reminds us of this. She could not know every outcome before she spoke. She had to face a moment where courage was required, not because she controlled the future, but because she was willing to show up truthfully in the moment she had been given. You have moments like that too. They may not look as dramatic, but they matter. The moment you tell the truth matters. The moment you stop minimizing your pain matters. The moment you choose a new pattern matters. The moment you ask for help matters. Do not wait for another person to make your life meaningful. Do not wait for a perfect feeling to make you brave. You can begin with one honest choice. You can begin with one clear sentence. You can begin with the willingness to believe that your peace is not optional. I am not asking you to become someone else. I am asking you to stop leaving yourself behind. My child, purpose is not performance. You have been exhausted because you have confused being valuable with being impressive. You have looked at other people's lives and assumed that your own life must be louder, more productive, more visible, or more certain before it can matter. But I do not measure you by applause. I do not measure you by how quickly you reach a goal. I do not measure you by the people who failed to recognize what was good in you. I see the heart beneath the work. I see the effort beneath the result. I see the person you are becoming when no one is watching. Stay with me, because this is the part where you can begin to lay down the burden of proving yourself. You have been trying to show that you are enough. You have been trying to make your worth visible through achievement. You have been trying to become so helpful that no one can dismiss you. You have been trying to become so capable that you never have to need anyone. But you were not made to earn love through exhaustion. You were not made to carry every burden as a test of your worth. You were not made to become invulnerable. You were made to be loved. You were made to receive grace. You were made to grow slowly and honestly, like a tree whose roots deepen before its branches can be seen. There is dignity in ordinary faithfulness. There is dignity in showing up for the work that is yours. There is dignity in caring for a child, answering a call, keeping your word, taking a walk, making a meal, telling the truth, and resting when you are tired. Do not dismiss an ordinary life because it does not look dramatic from the outside. A life can be quiet and still carry great meaning. A kind word can change the direction of someone's day. A boundary can protect a heart for years. A patient choice can interrupt a pattern passed down through generations. A person who learns to live honestly can become a place of safety for others. That is not small. You have been looking for a purpose that will make everyone understand you. But perhaps the deeper purpose is becoming a person who no longer needs everyone to understand in order to live truthfully. You can make room for misunderstanding without making it your identity. You can take correction without turning it into self-hatred. You can have a small audience and still have a meaningful life. You can have a slow season and still be growing. You can have questions and still be walking in faith. The world will often ask, "What have you accomplished?" But another question matters more. Are you becoming more true? Are you becoming more compassionate? Are you becoming more able to say what is real? Are you becoming less willing to betray yourself for approval? Are you becoming able to receive love without suspicion? Are you becoming someone who knows how to return after a hard day? These are signs of a life being formed. You have been hard on yourself because you have not reached every goal on the timeline you imagined. But you are judging your own journey through a clock that does not know what you have carried. You do not know the whole path another person has walked, and they do not know yours. Comparison has been stealing your attention from the work that is actually in front of you. When you compare, you begin to despise the seed because it is not yet the tree. When you compare, you begin to reject the small progress because it does not look like someone else's achievement. When you compare, you start believing that your life needs permission to be meaningful. It does not. My child, I am not asking you to settle for less. I am asking you to stop using performance as the only language through which you understand worth. You can pursue excellence without becoming cruel toward yourself. You can work hard without believing rest is failure. You can want more without treating what you have as worthless. You can be ambitious without forgetting your soul. Purpose does not require you to become a machine. It requires you to become present. Present to the people in front of you. Present to the truth inside you. Present to the needs you can actually meet. Present to the joy you keep postponing. Present to the guidance that arrives one step at a time. There is a kind of work that comes from fear. It is frantic, endless, and never satisfied. It says, do more, prove more, become more, or you will not be enough. And there is a kind of work that comes from love. It is steady. It is faithful. It knows when to rest. It knows that one person cannot carry everything. It knows that its worth does not disappear on a difficult day. Learn to work from love. Learn to serve from fullness, not from fear. Learn to be faithful with the small thing without despising it. You have not been called to impress everyone. You have been called to stop ignoring the person you are becoming. My child, there is a door in front of you. It may not look like the door you expected. It may not be large, dramatic, or obvious. It may be a door of conversation, rest, healing, learning, honesty, or help. But it is there. You have been looking far ahead for a door that proves your whole future has been secured. Meanwhile, the smaller door in front of you has been waiting for your attention. Stay with me, because you do not need the whole future to be visible before you step toward what is true today. The door may be admitting that you need support. The door may be returning a call you have been avoiding. The door may be leaving a space where you constantly feel you must make yourself smaller. The door may be starting a practice that helps you care for your body and mind. The door may be allowing yourself to grieve a loss instead of forcing yourself to act unaffected. The door may be letting a safe person know what you have been carrying. You have been afraid of doors because you remember the ones that closed. You remember opportunities that did not work out. You remember relationships that hurt. You remember hopes that did not become reality. And now part of you thinks it is safer not to step toward anything new. But a closed door from the past does not mean every door is closed now. You have learned things since then. You have changed since then. You have more language for truth than you had before. You have more wisdom for boundaries than you had before. You have survived enough to know that disappointment can hurt without ending you. My child, do not force every door. Not every opportunity is yours. Not every invitation should be accepted. But do not stand so far away from life that you never reach for what is good either. Ask for wisdom. Look at the fruit. Notice what brings peace and what keeps demanding that you disappear. Seek counsel where counsel is wise. Then take one step. You have been waiting for certainty to remove all risk, but some doors can only be understood after you begin to walk through them. This does not mean you should ignore warning signs. It means you do not have to demand perfection before you move. You can begin carefully. You can begin slowly. You can begin with one question. You can begin by gathering information. You can begin by telling the truth. You can begin by changing one daily pattern. Small movement is still movement. You have been afraid that a small step will not be enough, but small steps change direction. A single honest step can lead you out of a room you have been trapped in for years. The moment you say, "I need to be treated differently," changes something. The moment you say, "I need rest," changes something. The moment you say, "This is not the life I want to repeat," changes something. The moment you stop calling fear your guide changes something. I am not asking you to rush through the door because you are afraid of missing your chance. I am asking you to notice that you are allowed to approach it. You are allowed to be curious. You are allowed to want a life that fits the truth of who you are becoming. You are allowed to release an old identity. You are allowed to learn a new way. You are allowed to make a decision that honors your peace. There is a door in front of you because life has not finished inviting you forward. You have told yourself that you are too late, but you are not too late to take one honest step. You have told yourself that you do not know enough, but you can learn what you need as you move. You have told yourself that you will fail, but even if you stumble, you can return, learn, and try again. You do not have to be fearless. You have to be willing. The door is not asking you to become perfect. It is asking you to become present. Present to what is real. Present to what is possible. Present to the voice inside you that keeps saying, "Do not remain where you no longer belong. I am with you at the threshold. You do not have to cross it alone. My child, I want you to understand what it means to be called. It does not mean you are above other people. It does not mean you are more important than anyone else. It does not mean every desire you have is automatically a command from heaven. It does not mean you must carry a grand identity that separates you from the world. It means something simpler and more beautiful. You are not forgotten. Your life is not meaningless. Your honesty matters. Your choices matter. Your healing matters. The way you love matters. The way you care for the life entrusted to you matters. Stay with me, because humility and purpose belong together. Humility does not say, "I have nothing to offer." Humility says, "What I have is a gift and I will use it with care." Humility does not say, "I must disappear." Humility says, "I can take up the space I need without believing I am the center of everything." Humility does not say, "My needs do not matter." Humility says, "My needs are real and so are the needs of others." You have sometimes mistaken humility for self-rejection. You thought that speaking kindly about yourself was pride. You thought that receiving care was selfish. You thought that setting a boundary was harsh. But self-hatred is not humility. Self-neglect is not humility. Silence in the face of harm is not humility. I want to teach you how to carry your life with dignity. Dignity is the ability to say, "I matter, and I do not have to make anyone else smaller to believe it." Dignity is receiving a compliment without arguing against it. Dignity is asking for help without feeling ashamed. Dignity is knowing that your heart deserves care. Dignity is serving without destroying yourself. Dignity is apologizing when you are wrong and forgiving yourself when you learn. You have been waiting for some dramatic confirmation that you are chosen, but perhaps the confirmation you need is quieter. You keep being invited to choose life. Every morning you are invited to choose how you will speak to yourself. Every conversation you are invited to choose whether you will be honest. Every difficult moment you are invited to choose whether fear will rule the room. Every boundary you are invited to choose whether you will remain loyal to your peace. This is what calling can look like. It can look like an ordinary person becoming more awake. It can look like someone refusing to pass old pain into the next relationship. It can look like someone who has known loneliness learning how to become safe for others without disappearing. It can look like a person who once lived in fear, learning how to choose a calmer way. You do not need a grand title to make a meaningful difference. You do not need everyone to see the work in you for the work to be real. You do not need perfect certainty to begin. I have seen people change a family story by telling the truth once. I have seen people become a place of safety because they decided their own pain would not become another person's wound. I have seen people find purpose by learning how to be faithful in the life they already had. You can be one of those people. Not because you are above anyone, because you are willing to learn, willing to heal, willing to rest, willing to be honest, willing to receive love, willing to take the next step. Do not make your life smaller out of fear of seeming proud. Do not make your life louder out of fear of being forgotten. Live truthfully. Let your life become an answer to the question, what happens when someone stops abandoning themselves and starts walking in peace? The answer does not have to be perfect. It has to be real. My child, you are not disposable. You are not invisible. You are not the least important person in every room. You are a person with a life to live, a voice to use, a body to care for, a heart to protect, and love to give wisely. That is enough. That is more than enough. You do not need to prove that you deserve to be here. You are here. You are still breathing. There is still a future that can become more honest than the past. Let that be your calling today, to be faithful with the life that is in front of you. the choice to stop criticizing yourself in the mirror, the choice to return a kind message, the choice to leave room in your day for prayer, the choice to seek help before your pain becomes unbearable, the choice to forgive yourself for not having known then what you know now. These are not private failures of ambition. You may have wondered why the same concerns keep returning. Some concerns return because they need practical attention. Some return because there is a conversation to have. Some return because an old wound has been asking for gentleness. Do not respond to every returning thought with panic. Ask what it is asking of you. Is it asking for action? Is it asking for rest? Is it asking to be spoken aloud to someone safe? Is it asking to be released because you have already done what you can do? This is how discernment grows, not through fear but through patient attention. You do not have to interpret every quiet moment as a sign that something bad is about to happen. Quiet can be a place where your nervous system finally notices how tired it has been. Quiet can be a place where you remember a dream you set aside. Quiet can be a place where you hear the difference between your own voice and the voice of fear. Learn to welcome that difference. The voice of fear is urgent, condemning, and absolute. It says, if you make one mistake, everything is over. It says, no one will understand. It says, you have to decide right now and you have to get it perfectly right. But the voice of truth is steadier. It says, take the next honest step. It says, you can ask for help. It says, you do not need to solve the whole future today. It says, you are allowed to learn. My child, you have learned many things through hardship. You have learned how to read a room. You have learned how to protect people you care about. You have learned how to keep going when you were tired. But now I want to teach you something else. How to let yourself be safe, how to receive support, and how to choose peace without apologizing for it. The people who truly love you do not need you to be endlessly depleted in order to feel close to you. The work that is truly yours will not demand that you destroy yourself to complete it. The future that is meant for you will not require you to become unrecognizable to yourself. You may still have hard days. You may still have to make difficult decisions. You may still feel afraid at times, but fear does not have to become your identity. Difficulty does not have to become your home. You can face what is hard while remaining connected to yourself. Let your life be built from the inside out. Let your choices reflect the truth that you are learning to believe. Let your routines become places of care. Let your words become kinder. Let your relationships become more honest. Let your rest become real. Let your future be shaped by wisdom rather than by an old fear that has grown too familiar. I have not called you to a life of constant pressure. I have called you to live awake. Awake to what is true. Awake to what is good. Awake to what needs to change. Awake to the ways you are still being invited toward life. You do not need to become a different person overnight. You only need to stop pretending that the old pattern is the only way you can live. The next step may look small, but it carries direction. Take it with gentleness. Take it with courage. Take it knowing that you are not walking alone. When you look back one day, you may not remember every detail of this season, but you will remember that you chose not to surrender your life to fear. You will remember the first boundary, the first honest prayer, the first day you allowed yourself to rest. You will see that the path began there, in ordinary courage, with one small decision to believe that peace was still possible for you. And when doubt returns, answer it gently. I am learning, I am growing, I am allowed to move slowly, and I do not have to earn the care that holds me today. Again. My child, you have been waiting for the moment when you finally feel ready. You have been waiting for fear to disappear. You have been waiting for everyone to understand. You have been waiting for the path to become easy. But readiness is not always the absence of fear. Sometimes readiness is the willingness to stop letting fear decide everything. You do not have to know the whole path tonight. You do not have to carry the future before it arrives. You only have to become honest about the next step. Let this be your prayer. God, I have spent too long waiting for permission to live truthfully. I have made myself smaller because I was afraid of being misunderstood. I have confused performance with purpose. I have confused silence with peace. I have confused exhaustion with faithfulness. Help me remember that my life matters, without needing to be louder than anyone else. Help me stop abandoning myself for approval. Help me recognize the door in front of me. Help me take the next honest step with wisdom. Give me courage to speak truth with kindness. Give me humility to receive help. Give me discernment for the things I need to release. Teach me to rest without guilt. Teach me to love without losing myself. Teach me to become faithful with the life I have been given. And when fear tells me that I am too late, remind me that I can begin again. My child, I hear that prayer. I hear it when you can say every word. I hear it when all you can say is, help me. I hear it when you are tired of being strong. I hear it when you are unsure whether you can trust yourself again. You do not have to become perfect before you come close. You do not have to become fearless before you move. You do not have to earn your place in my care. You are already held. Take one breath. Let your shoulders loosen. Let the need to prove yourself become quiet for a moment. Notice what is real around you. There is a next step you can take. There is a truthful word you can speak. There is a form of care you can receive. There is a burden you can set down. There is a part of your future you can release because it was never yours to control. You are not called to carry every answer. You are called to become more honest, more compassionate, and more free. You are not called to disappear. You are not called to live beneath fear. You are not called to wait for a perfect moment before you begin. You are invited to live this moment truthfully. I am with you when you tell the truth. I am with you when you rest. I am with you when you make a boundary. I am with you when you ask for help. I am with you when you take the small step that changes the direction of your life. You are not forgotten. You are not disposable. You are not too late. You are not alone. Let the next step be simple. Let it be honest. Let it be yours. And when you take it, remember this. You do not have to walk the entire path tonight. You only have to stop walking away from the life that is calling you forward. Amen.